Hi yogis, welcome to Yin Yoga for back relief. I'm Caryn, and for class today I would recommend that you have a block and a blanket. If you have access to a second blanket, it might be helpful to have a second blanket. And we'll start on the back. So join me lying down as you're ready. Couple open mouth exhales. Knees are bent. Breathe in and out through the nose a couple times. You see how that feels. And now choose your most natural intuitive breath, whether it's through the mouth, the nose, or a combination. And we'll start to stretch the right leg forward, the left arm up and back. Keep that left knee bent. As you inhale, extend through your lifted arm and outstretched leg. And as you exhale, soften. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, stretch, 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 opposite leg and arm. And exhale, soften. Try one more with me. Inhale. And exhale. Rebend the right knee, lower your left arm, and switch sides. Left leg long, outstretch the right arm behind you. It's okay if the elbow bends. Clear the lungs. As you inhale, little exertion here to outstretch further. And as you exhale, let that exertion subside. Two more. Inhale, stretch, opposite leg and arm. Exhale, rest. Last time without my cue. And release, arms low, knees bent. A few rounds of cow and cat. So we'll arch the back on an inhale. Notice added space between the mat and my spine. Exhale, fill that space, belly strong, pull in. Arch on the inhale. And round with each exhale, continue. 10 more seconds here. A little bit of warm up before we get into our first hold. Now neutral spine, hug your right knee up and gather your shin or the back of the thigh, okay, whatever feels better. And encourage your right knee wide now and higher toward your right armpit. An option to outstretch your left leg once again. And if that bothers your low back, of course, skip it. Breathe here. Let's circle out the lifted foot, yogis. Make circles in the air. Wake up these smaller joints in the toes and the ankle. And reverse. Relax the foot. Engage your upper arms. Squeeze your knee higher and wider. Avoid overworking the shoulders here. Keep them unhunched. Like 4 more breaths in wind relieving pose. Release and switch. Right foot on the ground, left knee chest. Gather your shin or the back of your left thigh. Now widen your knee toward your left armpit. Pull up and out, up and out. Again, you might feel comfortable extending your bottom leg. Eventually, we'll add on some foot circles on the lifted side. No rush. Reverse those circles. Ankle strength and mobility impacts posture, how we carry ourselves, including the spine. Relax your foot and engage your upper arms More strongly. Breathe here at the crown of your head reaching back. If ever that low back complains, rebend the right knee, foot to ground. Doing great. Bit of upper body engagement, but try not to hunch the shoulders up toward the ears. Keep a nice space here between your earlobes and your shoulder heads. Let's enjoy 4 more breaths here on side 2. To release, you can either rebend both knees, feet to ground, or re-extend your left leg, both legs long, and relax your arms, close the eyes, welcome yourself to a moment of stillness. And once you are able to establish a rhythmic and fulfilling breath, try a few rounds of cow and cat. I prefer to do these with my knees bent, so I'll restand the feet down, arch, and round the back. Do that a few more times on your own. We're gonna meet in a hug, knees to the chest. Let's rock and roll, belly strong here. Forward to the feet, back to the shoulders. All the way forward and all the way back. 2 more times, back and forth. Rise seated, either kneeling or however you're most comfy. And upright the torso. Hands low. Exhale. Inhale, lift your shoulders as high as they go, a little higher. Exhale, audible, ha. 2 more. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Exhale, ha. And last time, inhale all the way up. Don't be shy. Exhale, ha. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder without lifting your shoulder to your ear. Now extend your left arm wide, thumb up. Notice my hand about shoulder level. Little arm circles to the back. If that's too much, skip the circles. Otherwise, reverse. Circle forward, forward. 2 more. And lower your arm. Drop your chin toward your right shoulder. Loosen your jaw and soften your gaze. Keep your hips level, equal weight in the sit bones. Another minute on this side. One way to intensify with ear to shoulder, I might bring right palm, left temple. There's not necessarily a pushing or pulling with the hand. Usually a little bit of extra weight is enough to accentuate this stretch. Couple more breaths. Yogis, let's meet with the chin to the chest. Gradually lower the head. Try to keep the upper back lifted and the chest broad. Feel that slight compression in the front of the throat. And exhale. Come back to a neutral spine. And we'll try a few rounds of cow and cat. Lifting on an inhale, chin up, round curl. Exhale, bow the head. Inhale, arch, shoulders drop. Exhale, cat, chin to chest. How about one more, your piece. If you have your legs crossed, this would be a great time to recross the opposite way. And exhale together. Let's drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Reach the right arm wide, thumb up, palm forward. Arm circles toward the back. This can be small, about the size of a baseball. Reverse. And when you're complete there, lower your arm, can stay or drop your chin. Sometimes I'll inch my head a little back and forward until I find a spot where I'm actually excited or at least interested to hold. The teeth are unclenched, gaze soft. Try not to tip away from the right hip seat. Stay level. And as always, if you need more, ear to shoulder, left palm, right side of face, forehead. And like 10 more seconds here on side two. Eventually, you lower chin back down toward the chest. Take your time with that. Exhale together. Hands low, cow pose. Slide the chin up the front wall toward the ceiling. Exhale around your low, mid, and upper back. You might repeat that a couple more times. We will meet in tabletop, all fours. You could also continue this exercise in table. Opportunity as well to stretch out your legs. To get a little more into the lower legs, calves, you can stretch one leg and push the hands forward, heel back. Then switch. Knee down, opposite leg out, stretch. Lengthen the heel, push with your hands. Tabletop. Let's identify the right ankle, and you might want to keep your blanket blocked close. We'll slide the right ankle in front of left knee. This is tabletop figure four. Start to inch your hands forward. Crawl forward, crawl forward. The right knee follows the right wrist. Lengthen your left leg behind you for swan. If this is not accessible, stay in tabletop figure four or adjust yourself to seated or supine figure four, belly up. Add any cushion you need for the back thigh or outer right leg. You can stay up. You might come into a sleeping variation, torso low. And we'll be here a couple minutes. Adjust yourself so that fidgeting becomes less tempting. One of the guiding principles of this yin practice is stillness. Skimming off any unnecessary movements. Which can certainly be challenging, but super beneficial, building strength in the joints here. The hips are level, so if you can see yourself in front of you, that may be helpful in aligning level hips, level shoulders. A lot of length through the back leg, through the crown. When those things are in place, you may find the tendency or need to fidget lessens. Find ways to accommodate the body. Certainly getting a stretch here, but it should never be so uncomfortable that we can't breathe or constantly want to readjust. Nothing wrong with a little discomfort. Stay engaged and aware. My attention span is not where I'd like it to be, but this yin practice helps with that. Just a couple more breaths, yogis. We shall meet back in tabletop. And at this point, some options for you from a table, knees wide child's pose or hips high down dog. We might come to seated for a few moments, hydrate. Ultimately, here, a chance to rest. Let's transition back to all fours, yogis, and either hip sways side to side or return a few rounds, cow and cat. You may notice a little imbalance between the hips or lower spine here. Knee back neutral, left ankle figure four. The gaze shifts forward, the hands crawl out away from the hips, left knee following left wrist. Inch the right toe tips back so that leg is as outstretched as possible. A reminder, you can always opt to stay in a version of figure four, whether that's tabletop, seated, or lying down. In swan, we might start to lower the torso closer to the ground. I like a block usually for my hands, elbow, or head to avoid overstretching. Level your hips and breathe normally. Yourself patience and time here as you explore the hips, meeting point between the upper body and lower. Remind yourself that you are in a safe space and that a little bit of stress can be healthy. A little bit of stress challenges us to persevere, grow, and in fact, on the physical level, when we apply stress to our muscles or connective tissue, as long as we do that properly with awareness, they respond by growing stronger. Last 30 seconds here. Stay with it. How about a couple more breaths wherever you are? Exit hands low, lift the head chest. Some moments to stretch out or rest. You might like an embryo pose, similar to child's, but thighs close together, arms by the sides, palms up. Our next shape is dangling. We'll carefully stand, hands low, feet wide. Parallel the feet with the long sides of your mat. Shift your body weight forward and either stay here or try eagle arms with me, wrapping one elbow under. Sway your head, spread toes, and recross your arms the opposite way. Next, we'll move into an IT band stretch here in our forward fold. Heel toe feet together. Cross right ankle over left ankle. Line up your pinky toes as much as possible. I'm using a block under my hands, and the head is heavy. I might stay here or I might slightly and carefully walk my hands a little further toward the right. And always tell when I'm uncomfortable or challenged because I start fidgeting a lot, adjusting my clothing and stuff like that. These cues can be helpful and they might indicate to us postures we have been avoiding, body parts we may have neglected. And we can apply that information by spending more time in those areas, incorporating those postures with more regularity into our home practice. Let's take two more breaths and then we'll switch out the legs. All right, unwrap if you haven't already and switch sides. So bring the left ankle in front, hands low, steady breath. And it may call to you to walk your hands slightly off center toward the left. Start to lose your balance a little. Don't twist quite as far. Another helpful option is to engage the inner thighs, targeting the IT band along the outer leg. Be here 4 more breaths. We'll meet with the feet uncrossed, heel toe wider, wider, wider. Adjust toes toward 10 and 2. And as you exhale, slightly bend both knees. Lift the heart. Straighten your legs on an inhale and rebend a lower squat as you exhale. Drop the hips. Try a couple more until you're ready to hold a squat. And I'll demo using at least one block under my seat. Widen the toes and knees. Center your torso. And rest your elbows wherever they feel most comfortable. You feel good to turn the head to one side. Come back to center. Switch. And find center. Crown up. Equal weight in both of your feet. Bring the tips of your thumbs to meet the tips of your index fingers. Extend middle ring and pinky outward. As the crown continues to lift, you take some pressure off your hip, knee, and ankle joints. Awareness of the third eye and the crown. Of infinite possibility for growth, personal progress, and new ways of thinking, believing, and understanding. Last 30 seconds here in squat. Do not allow yourself to slump or slouch. Keep that length in the waistline. Final couple breaths here. We'll carefully transition towards seated, and I will use some padding under my seat. So I'm going to grab my blanket. Moving next into our side body stretch. We'll extend both legs forward. Bring the left knee on top. This is half shoelace. You might prefer full shoelace, both knees bent and the heels equidistant from the hips. So I'm lining up the heels in that variation. But make sure that you feel level in the hips and stable in the sit bones. Bring your right hand down, mat or block. Left arm reach, up and over. This is a side bend, and it's not a forward fold. If your arm or shoulder fatigue, lower your arm. One option is to guide your hand behind your back. Some of us will prefer to bring the bottom elbow down. You can even bend at the elbow and rest the head in the hand. Imagine how it would feel to have someone's hand pressing down on the upper left thigh, helping to anchor the left side seat here. This posture helping us to gain awareness of the side body and any tension that resides there, particularly in the muscles and tissue between the side ribs. You might imagine that you could direct your breath right to those tense spots, toward anything that feels congested or a little sticky. Couple more rounds, plenty of time to unbind your arm, and I will actually place the hand down on the thigh. Ease up, slow motion, slow, 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 and uncross your legs. Both legs outstretched, yogis. Exhale here. Inhale, point your toes, and exhale, flex. Point and flex as slow or as fast as you like until this starts to feel like exercise. Remain upright, like you're leaning into a wall. Last 10 seconds. If you need to, pick up the pace so your feet start to fatigue for 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Cross your right knee over, half or full shoelace. Take your time to set up, left hand low. Inhale, reach right arm high, up and over without lifting your right side seat. You might come down to the elbow. Very common for the two sides of the body to behave differently in the same posture. Avoid forcing anything that feels unnatural here. Should that top arm or shoulder fatigue, bring it down. And some of us will try to bind around the back. You might see what happens when you turn that thumb, the thumb that's behind your back, in toward the spine with the palm facing more toward the ceiling. So that's something you can try, kind of flip the palm more up. And if you have the thumb in toward the back, you might try the pinky edge toward the spine with the palm face more downward. Breathe into where you're feeling this in the body. Four more rounds of leisurely breath. That right shoulder back. More than enough time to unbind. Right hand to the thigh. Inch by inch, rise. Take your time. Back up and outstretch your legs. Point and flex just a few times. Windshield wiper legs. Hands low, bend the knees. Slide the knees from side to side. Our next shape will be fish. And I'll show you how you can use the block under the back, a block or a blanket for your headrest. Friends with lower back complaints may want an additional blanket under the seat. So please know you can always elevate the seat a little bit if your low back is feeling kind of cranky today. I place that block high enough that as I recline, I feel a stretch in the chest. And I can adjust the padding under my head so I'm not overstretching the front of the neck. I might stretch out the legs as long as the low back allows. Think about all the time today or in the past week that you spent seated, rounded over your devices or the car steering wheel or gardening, whatever it might be. And offer this practice, especially this pose here and now, your patience, your presence, and your time to undo some of the tightening that inevitably happens in the front body when we invest so much time in those seated postures. Open and close your jaw a couple times. Get a good stretch there, like you're yawning. You might relax enough to the point that you actually do yawn. Arms are lazy, palms face up. Let's invest another minute here in fish. You may have begun to notice a shift in your breathing. This posture helps to develop lung capacity. There's nothing you have to do. The posture will do the work for you. Don't worry if you don't notice that now. Sometimes when we come out of the back bend, we can sense the benefits more. Plenty of time to bend the knees with or without using your hand. Lift your head slightly, chin forward. Come to your elbows. Carefully remove your props and recline on the back, neutral spine, neck, and head. Try a few rounds of cow and cat here with both knees bent, feet to ground. Neutral spine, cross right knee over left. Eagle legs without necessarily wrapping the ankle, although if you crave that, go for it. We'll scoot the hips slightly to the right, more toward in line with the right shoulder. Sway your legs to the left, and I'll use a prop under my legs to protect my knees and lower back. That's one option. Arms wide, gaze right. If this just doesn't work for your joints, uncross the knees. All variations are welcome here. Do keep the shoulder blades anchored. If your head wants to sway a little more to one side or the other, that's totally fine. So you're not forcing or cranking the head. In this practice, we've mobilized the spine in all six directions. We've explored forward bending, heart opening, done our lateral or side stretches, and now a twist. Couple more breaths in this shape. Couple breath cycles to exit. Meet that center, brief hug. Lift the shins. Reset the feet, hips center. Left knee on top, eagle legs. Scoot your hips toward the left, more in line with your left shoulder. Sway your legs to the right, adding any cushion or padding you need. Arms wide, gaze left. See if you can nestle the shoulder blades in toward the spine a little more. Couple more breaths. Couple breath cycles to emerge back to center. You might at this point like a tight hug or a happy baby. You might straddle the legs, stretching the inner thighs. Some of us want sometimes a temper tantrum, legs, arms up, shake it out. 3, 2, and Shavasana. Lie down, get comfy, center yourself, hips, shoulders, and head. Relax your muscles in your joints. Feel your breath normalize. Make any final adjustments now. Finally, allow yourself to experience a few moments of pure stillness. Relax 10% more. Remain relaxed and invite some more lively breaths. Gradually wiggle toes, fingers, and face. Sway your head from side to side. Eventually, a full body stretch. Both legs, both arms together. Inhale. Exhale, slide your knees up, roll to one side. Fetal position, and clear your lungs. Inhale, press down, lift up, seated. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's breathe in, upright the torso, fill the lungs, and exhale. Again, inhale, cleansing, exhale. And one more together. Inhale, raise thumbs toward third eye, take an extra sip. Exhale, let's bow to close our practice. Namaste. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for coming to Yin for back relief. I hope you're feeling good. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below and stay healthy. I'll see you next time.